Hello, my name is Aunt Dianne, and I'm here to read you a story named Thumbelina. And this story is a classic, and it's about a tale about patience. Okay, here we go. There once was a woman who lived in a tiny, tiny cottage, which had the most beautiful garden in the world. She was very happy tending her garden, but over time she became sad. She had no children who could share her garden with her. She decided to ask the old witch in her village for help. When the woman explained she wanted a child, the witch thought for a moment. She pulled out a tiny bag out of the fold in her cloak. Plant these wildflower seeds and tend to them carefully every day. Soon you will have your wish, said the witch. There she is, getting those wildflower seeds out of her cloak. And the woman was overjoyed that the witch gave her a solution to her problem. She took the seeds home with her. The next day, she planted them in a sunny corner of her garden. It was the prettiest spot she could find. She watered and watched over the seeds every day. All right, let's see what else happens with those seeds. Soon, tiny green sprouts began to poke out of the ground. Before long, the sprouts grew and blossomed into a beautiful patch of wildflowers. In the center of the wildflower patch grew a single beautiful tulip. Its steep petals were closed up tightly. The flower was so lovely that the woman could not resist bending down to smell it. As she knelt in front of the flower, its petals suddenly opened. The woman was amazed to find a tiny girl sitting inside. She wore a tulip petal for a dress, and she had long, gleaming hair. "You are the most beautiful child I have ever seen. You are hardly even as big as my thumb. Would you like to stay with me in my garden?" asked the woman. "Oh, yes," replied the tiny girl. "I will call you Thumbelina." At home, she made Thumbelina a tiny bed out of acorn shell. Thumbelina slept soundly under her rose petal blanket. Thumbelina and her mother lived very happily in the garden the whole summer long. Thumbelina loved to play in the tiny pond in the middle of the garden, so her mother made a tiny boat of maple leaf. Thumbelina rowed across the pond using 2 blades of grass as oars. Her mother sat by the side of the pond and read stories to her while she played. Sometimes Thumbelina sang as she rowed. She had the most beautiful silvery voice that her mother always loved to hear. One day, a frog was hopping by the garden pond. He heard Thumbelina's beautiful voice. When he saw the tiny girl rowing her maple leaf boat, he said, "What a lovely creature. I must take her away to my lily pad to be my wife." Uh-oh, he really likes her. The frog watched and waited until Thumbelina's mother went inside the cottage to get a cup of lemonade for Thumbelina. Then the frog jumped out from behind the reeds where he had been hiding and captured Thumbelina. He carried her away to the river where he lived and placed her on a lily pad. "Rest here while I go and make the plans for our wedding," said the frog. With that, he hopped away. And with that, I'm going to end this at the 5-minute and 18-minute mark so I can finish up with the next scene. All right, what will happen to Thumbelina? Stay tuned. Go to the next video. Bye-bye.